Multiple clients of a single cloud vendor share the same computer resources, which is known as multi-tenancy. Each customer is referred to as a renter. This type of sharing refers to the sharing of software resources as well as shared server hosting. Multiple instances of the same application can run in a shared environment thanks to multi-tenancy. As a result, a single instance of software operates on a server and serves multiple tenants. Tenants are physically integrated, but logically divided. A software program in a multi-tenant architecture will share dedicated instances of configurations, data, and user management, among other attributes, with this configuration. Tenants can customize the shared resource in several ways, such as selecting which users have access to it or how the application appears and feels. They are, however, unable to alter the coding. Here's an example of what I'm talking about. Consider your neighborhood bank. Many customers put their money in the bank, but each has their own private account where their assets are safe from other customers, despite the fact that they all store their money in the same bank. One bank, many customers can't communicate with one another, can't utilize each other's resources, and aren't even aware of each other's existence. The public cloud concept is as follows: one infrastructure, many servers, each with exclusive use and access to their own data and other cloud-based services. There are 3 levels of multi-tenancy. Low, IaaS and PaaS are multi-tenant services, whereas SaaS is a single-tenant service. Middle, IaaS and PaaS are multi-tenant, as are tiny SaaS clusters. High, IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS are all multi-tenant environments. Multi-tenant versus single-tenant. Unsurprisingly, single-tenant architecture is the polar opposite of multi-tenant architecture. The term one tenant gives away the nature of the situation. Single tenancy refers to software and infrastructure that only serves one customer. Each customer has their own database or software instance, which they do not share. The single tenant model has its own set of benefits. For starters, a single tenancy provides a more secure environment because each tenant's resources and information are completely independent from those of other renters. In addition, the buyer gets complete control over modification and functionality. Finally, because resources are constantly available and plentiful, single-tenant consumers have a higher level of dependability. A single tenancy, on the other hand, has several disadvantages. Because there is no cost sharing when it comes to resources, a single tenancy is usually more expensive. Additionally, because lone renters have no one with whom to share regular maintenance and setup responsibilities, there is more work involved. So, compared to multi-tenancy, single tenancy provides more privacy and resource availability. The latter, on the other hand, consumes less time, resources, and money from the consumer. Multi-tenancy architecture's advantages. We quickly discuss some of the advantages of multi-tenancy, but let's dig further. It's a budget-friendly option. It's less expensive to share cloud resources in the same way as it's less expensive to share a ride with other people. Customers end up paying only for the services they require. The cloud host handles labor and staff, onboarding new tenants, maintenance and development, and updates, with only a fraction of the costs passed on and split among the tenants. It's simple to scale. This benefit builds on the cost-effectiveness advantage by allowing clients to add or remove resources as needed. This adaptability is ideal for businesses that are developing quickly yet in an unpredictable manner. It's safe and secure, and it gives you greater privacy. While a single tenancy is more secure, multi-tenancy is nonetheless effective at detecting threats and keeping tenants' resources distinct from one another. It's a more efficient use of resources. Multi-tenancy makes better use of infrastructure on the host side. Instead of limiting server access to a single client, it makes more sense to open it up to a large number of consumers. It does not require any maintenance on the part of the customer. Customers are not only exempt from paying for monitoring and administration, but they are also exempt from doing the labor. Updates and upgrades, maintenance, and other associated duties are handled by the host. Consider the approach to be similar to renting an apartment. The landlord is responsible for repairs, while the tenant is responsible for paying the rent. The most serious consequences of multi-tenancy. Naturally, no cloud hosting model is perfect or risk-free. Multi-tenancy has a number of disadvantages. It's a safety hazard. If you employ a multi-tenancy model, there's a danger that your data will be exposed to third parties, however little. This breach could occur either accidentally, as a result of a system failure or software defect that exposes the data, or intentionally, as a result of a hacker exploiting a flaw in the architecture. This risk rises or falls in proportion to the level of security provided by the host. There could be a problem with response time. Apartment dwellers are at risk of having their peace and quiet disrupted by noisy neighbors. Customers who consume too many CPU cycles are the noisy virtual neighbors in a cloud hosting environment. Everyone's processing time is slowed as a result of the CPU drain. When it comes to downtime, the host has the final say. Cloud clients have no voice in when the superintendent decides to repaint the building or work on the plumbing, just as apartment buildings have no say in when the superintendent decides to repaint the building or work on the plumbing. It's a little more complicated. Multi-tenancy is more difficult for the host to manage than a single tenancy. Apps might be less adaptable. Shared applications are less versatile than those offered by other tenant models. So, do the benefits outweigh the disadvantages? It all depends on the buyer and his or her level of risk tolerance. Multi-tenancy's importance. Multi-tenancy is a crucial idea since it allows us to get the most out of our public cloud environment. Everyone's data, customers, suppliers, partners, and global resources are all stored in the cloud environment. As a result, multi-tenancy provides everyone with high-quality, consistent cloud access at a low cost. It's an excellent approach to level the playing field so that a small business can compete more effectively against a large enterprise. When the cloud host delivers new capabilities, features, and innovations, they benefit a broader audience. On a multi-tenant site, it's often the needs of a few clients that drive the development of additional features. Even yet, everyone in the architecture community benefits in the end. This is not the case with single-tenancy models, because any improvements benefit only one customer. Applications for multi-tenancy. Multi-tenancy applications allow hosts to serve a large number of consumers or clients with just one application installation. Each customer's information is kept separate from the rest. Customers are referred to as tenants. Multi-tenancy applications have these qualities. View: tenants can customize the look and feel of their applications, such as user interfaces, UI. Users and groups: tenants can update and adapt their own data access control rules. Tenants can provide a database schema for the application in the dataset composition. Renaming database fields, removing/adding database tables, and more are all part of this schema. Tenants are free to create their own business rules and application logic. The majority of cloud-based apps are multi-tenant. Here are some examples of popular multi-tenancy applications: ADP, Carbonite, Docker, FreshBooks, HubSpot/S Kubernetes. Microsoft Office 365 is a subscription service provided by Microsoft. Netflix, Salesforce, WordPress/S Zendesk, Zoho.